Hello, in this video, I'm going to give a review of the Samyang 35-150 f2 to f2.8 zoom lens for Sony E mount. This lens is fantastic. I used it for a few days and it just delivers. The image quality is great. Great sharpness, great micro contrast, great color. The specs is also fantastic. 35-150 extremely useful. You can use it for landscape, street photography, even indoor situations because the max aperture is f2. Of course, this lens is very bulky and heavy. It's over 2.5 pounds. If you use this for street photography, you will not be discreet. People will notice you. You cannot just sneak upon people and snap a few shots. For indoor situations, of course, because of its big size, you will look ridiculous in a restaurant with this lens. Okay, now because of its heavy weight, over 2.5 pounds, if you plan to shoot videos, you need to bring with you a monopod or tripod because your arm will become fatigued after holding this lens for video for a couple minutes. At least you need some form of support. Yeah. Now, two features about this lens. One is the pop focal autofocus. This is a killer feature. If you're shooting videos, you can zoom in slowly and zoom out slowly without losing autofocus. You can't zoom in too fast. You will lose autofocus. Yeah, this is a feature that is not even offered by the Tamron 35-150. I watched some YouTube videos. People compared the Tamron and the Samyang. They claim that the Tamron is better for like flare resistance. Yeah, the Tamron used better glass maybe. I do not own the Tamron lens, and when I shot some pictures yesterday with this lens, it was overcast, so there was not a single bright light source to test the flare resistance. So that's something you may want to keep in mind. Another weird thing about this lens is something I've never seen in another lens before. This barrel lock and unlock switch to lock your focal length at 35 millimeters. If you do not lock it at 35 millimeters, this lens barrel will extend under gravity. And this switch works only for 35 millimeters. You cannot lock it at any other focal length. This comes to me as a nuisance. Like every time I lift my camera, I want to shoot some pictures, the focal length has changed because of the extension under gravity thing. This is something I've never seen in another camera or lens, in another lens. Yeah, this is kind of unique, but it's not deal breaker. I mean, I just zoom it back in every time I take pictures. If you put this lens on the gimbal for videos, that could be a problem. Without your noticing, the focal length may have changed. Also, one thing about the lens is the filter thread is 82 millimeters. So if you want to attach a polarizer filter, that could be expensive. Yeah. Now let's look at some of the real-world pictures of this lens I took yesterday at Newton, Massachusetts. Boston College telephoto end, very sharp, great color, great micro contrast. The bokeh is a bit busy compared to a prime lens, but there's nothing out of ordinary for a zoom lens. Actually, the bokeh is pretty nice for a zoom lens. So telephoto end, no problem. Wide angle, no problem either. There is some purple fringing. I removed them in post, but there is chromatic aberration even at f8 when you are shooting under high contrast. But it's nothing out of ordinary. By the way, this lens is sharp with great color and micro contrast and very nice bokeh. I'm talking in terms of zoom lens. In terms of optical performance, this lens is nowhere close to a modern prime lens. Not even close. Yeah, the Nikon 50, 85, 135 f2.8 S lenses are vastly superior than this lens in terms of sharpness, micro contrast, and bokeh. For a zoom lens, this is fantastic. But if you want the top quality portraiture, you probably should stick to your prime lenses. Obviously, the zoom lens is very flexible. You can shoot all kinds of stuff without switching lenses. Saves a lot of time. That's why we use zoom lenses. Yeah, a lot of details. This is great. This is wide open at f2.8 at 150 millimeter. Very sharp and contrasty. No chromatic aberration because there's no high contrast areas. Yeah, that's the beautiful part of a zoom lens. You can just zoom in without switching to another lens. The sky is kind of boring, overcast, but the building, everything is good. The background blur for a zoom lens, this is fantastic. Blurry background, yeah. Yeah, just some random photos on campus of the Boston College, which is very beautiful. Nice little courtyard. This is again at 150 telephoto end. This lens is sharp both at 35 and 150. Amazing lens, yeah. You can see the amount of detail. This is about a relief on a building's wall. Another relief. This is on the third floor. This angel relief. Yeah, I used a 150mm focal length, and it's extremely sharp and contrasty. 35 wide end is also very sharp. Statue, yeah. So this zoom lens is highly versatile. You can use it for all kinds of situations without having to swap lenses, yeah. Another relief above their library door. This is sculpture on the side of the building. Another relief. Yeah, that's the end of the Boston University photos. I also took the lens to a park nearby. So beavers destroyed this tree. Even though at 150mm is not ideal for bird photography, this is a nice shot of the seagull flying above a swan at 150mm. Another shot, this was not focused because my Nikon Z6 is a very old camera, almost 5 years old. It does not recognize bird's eyes, so autofocusing system is not as advanced as some of the new offerings. So I always suggest people to embrace technology. If you can't afford it, go for the latest technology. Okay, another swan picture. This is a beaver mound. Yeah, the beaver lives inside of this thing. They kill trees to get branches to build their nest. Another swan picture. More swans. It's a great general purpose lens. If you can handle the weight, yeah, this is fantastic. Okay, that's my pictures. Thank you.